This recap took some time.
Hello YouTubers, this is noobifier. We just had the second running of Fight or Flight hosted by ATMO Esports. This is an epic set of 2 versus 2 battles set up in single elimination brackets. 32 teams fought previously in 1-match eliminations, and those top 8 teams got a chance to fight it out double elimination style this past weekend. You can imagine that this community-operated event took a massive undertaking behind the scenes by the ATMO team. Each running of their events scale up in complexity, and this truly presents the potential that we see in Star Citizen. The rules are quite simple. 2 pilots in 2 ships make up a team. The pilots can choose from 6 preset loadout choices and ship combinations, but they may also not use the same ship. The arena center is marked by an 890 jump, and the teams start 20 kilometers opposite from that center. On command, the fight is on and only ends when both members from one team are defeated. It's with the community support that events like this are more successful, so please take the time to follow ATMO on Twitter and on Twitch so that you get the most up-to-date information about future events. Both of those are linked in the description, and we begin. The stream started on time with our 2 hosts, Crucian Gaming and Detox TV. They brought us up to speed about who would be fighting, how the event would play out, and this time also allowed things behind the scenes to get the correct players into the correct servers and ready to fight. Detox spoke about how the players have been training, how competitive this level of competition has become, and then Crucian explained that double elimination gives each team a chance for vindication. Round 1, we had Black Fleet Team 2 against Aurora Borealis. Black Fleet 1 would fight MPEC Second Guard, Avenger Squadron Alpha would fight Flying Smoke, and Liberty Reaper Alpha would fight BSI Eagle. Crucian reminded us that all of these teams were here today only because they'd been victorious during qualification. The team spoke with Andy from GameGlass and JR from JRDNF, who are both title sponsors. Prizes and trophies are only possible with their support, so please go check them out. Detox and Crucian broke down their predictions for the event and spoke about how the choices of ships would drastically change how the players might alter their tactics. The first fight was set and Crucian counted it down. Black Fleet versus Aurora Borealis. The team at ATMO provided some fantastic camera work, giving us something more than just looking at the pilot's view perspective. Detox reminded us that all players needed to stay within a combat zone, or they would be vigorously reminded by the officials by means of being shot at. That really wasn't required, as all the players were seasoned veterans, and they locked horns and started trading shots. Metering out the fuel and tracking shield strength, the teams made sure to break away, allowing for the shields to recover before committing again. With a mixture of talons, arrows, and Gladius, the fight continued. Detox explained about the need to keep within a certain range to keep weapons effective. Aurora Borealis started to land some damage onto the enemy's wing. Tactics changed. Both Black Fleet pilots started to focus on Olimon. Papa Freedom unfortunately tagged an asteroid, putting Black Star full defensive with the expected results. Winner Aurora Borealis. Immediately after a quick recap, we began with the second fight, Black Fleet 1 versus MPEC Second Guard. Again, Arrow, Gladius, and Talons were the ships of choice. On the first pass, shields were eroded on both sides and the pressure was maintained. The MPEC's Arrow took too much damage and was eliminated, leaving a 2v1. Black Fleet, knowing that they had the full advantage, they both came to a dead stop and waited for Dread to engage. That plan paid off. After a couple seconds, Dread was eliminated. Winner Black Fleet 1, who would fight Aurora Borealis for round 2. Next, on to the third fight, Avenger Squadron Alpha versus Flying Smoke. Gladius and Arrow on each side. The first pass was carefully calculated as the distances closed to 0. Avenger focused only on Felipe and punished them, resulting in massive damage to the Arrow. The second pass, and they were dispatched to death. 2v1, less than a minute later, Flying Smoke was eliminated. On to the fourth fight. This was the first time an Avenger Warlock was selected, introducing some EMP gameplay. Liberty Reapers versus BSI Eagle. The fight was on, the EMP was out fully charged. The EMP did hit clean, but then needed to retreat to recharge. Liberty Reapers didn't really seem to be that concerned about the EMP, being careful to keep tabs on where it was. Then the EMP hit a teammate, knocking their shields to 0. The Reapers pounced on the opportunity, going in for the kill. Sometime later, a little bit of cat and mouse, with neither side truly willing to commit to a fist fight. The EMP once again hit a teammate, knocking the shields to 0. The Warlock got tagged hard, but the Talon was running very low on fuel. Both BSI ships were showing heavy damage. The Gladius was taken out, leaving just the Warlock, and it wasn't long before the Warlock was taken out. Liberty Reaper Alpha, victor, after a long fight. Next was round 1 for those who lost. These were the teams that were knocked out. They were paired up and got ready to fight again. Black Fleet 2 versus MPEX Second Guard. Early on, MPEX was working the damage towards the Talon. Black Fleet was using solid teamwork to ensure not to loiter too much without extending to recover the shields. Minute after minute, both teams danced around asteroids. Papa Freedom was knocked out, leaving Black Star without any hope, lasting only 20 seconds after that. Winner MPEX. Next was round 2 for those who lost, Flying Smoke versus BSI Eagle. Arrow and Gladius on each team. Detox noticed that when they did their first head-to-head pass, the shields on the front got completely eroded. This match was drawn out very much like others. The match then became aggressive, with teams willing to risk a fist fight rather than the cat and mouse. Pass after pass, Flying Smoke kept losing a little bit more. BSI Eagle traded a little bit more accurately and took a little bit less damage. Victory, BSI Eagle. On to the next round, Aurora Borealis versus Black Fleet 1. Arrow Gladius versus Talon Gladius. Within 2 minutes, Aurora Borealis was down by 1 player. Seconds later, Black Fleet finished the job and took the victory. Round 3, Avenger Squadron Alpha versus Liberty Reaper Alpha. Gladius Arrow versus Talon Gladius. Same as before, on initial pass, everyone locked horns. Avenger Squadron was down to 1 ship within 60 seconds. Avenger 1 solo went full offensive, but also tried to protect and restore shields. The inevitable occurred, 2-on-1. Liberty Reaper Alpha with the second kill. Winner. Next was round 3 for those who lost, Aurora Borealis versus BSI Eagle. Once again, Arrow Gladius against Arrow Gladius. This match was exciting as the 2 first passes resulted in massive damage being done to Aurora Borealis. Missiles out trying to force a reaction. This was messy, with a quick takedown resulting in a 2-on-1, which lasted an additional 45 seconds. Boom. Victory, BSI Eagle. Next was round 4 for those who lost, Avenger Squad Alpha versus MPEX Second Guard. This began with a very even match. Each time someone committed to a pass, both lost, but then Avenger 1 did a solid pass putting critical damage onto Dread's wings. And then the shit hit the fan when both ships from Avenger Squadron Alpha collided. Match over. Just like that. MPEX Victor. Next, BSI Eagle and MPEX Second Guard. After 4 minutes of trading blows, both arrows were missing shields and taking hull damage. With all focus on one ship, it was hurting, and unable to get their shields back, hull damage stacked and eventually it was taken out. Once that happened, another 2-on-1 situation, and despite their best efforts, Dread was next to fall. BSI Eagle, Victor. Semifinals, Black Fleet versus Liberty Reapers Alpha, Talon Gladius versus Talon Gladius. Within seconds, every screen had guns blazing, aggressive with none of the pilots choosing to extend. This was a fist fight. The goal was application of DPS, with each team deciding to focus on one enemy. Witcher was taken out, followed immediately by Lycosar, leaving Talon versus Gladius. This duel went on for 30 minutes. Death by 1,000 cuts, ending up with a victory for Liberty Reapers Alpha. Next, final round for those who lost, Black Fleet 1 versus BSI Eagle, Arrow Gladius versus Arrow Gladius. The floor mat was double teamed quickly, getting taken out, leaving a 2-on-1 situation. And then the inevitable victory, Black Fleet 1. The grand final between Liberty Reaper Alpha and Black Fleet 1, Talon Gladius versus Warlock Gladius. Crucian took some time just before the final to let the community know how many people and how much goes on behind the scenes. He thanked the team for everything that they do and asked us, the viewers, to support by keeping tabs on what's going on by following all of their social media accounts. Detox loved the fact that Black Fleet took a Warlock because it could either be the biggest mistake ever, but if used properly, that skillful timing can end the match in seconds. A real risky move. They decided not to piss around, with 100% focus on killing that Warlock. The Warlock did a great job dancing around, trying to time out the EMP. Minor distortion damage applied was followed up with ballistic damage from the main cannon. After 7 minutes of sparring, the Liberty Gladius was shot to hell, and the Black Fleet Warlock was shot to hell. The Warlock was taken out, but then instantly the Liberty Reaper Gladius seemed to strike an invisible rock. Now we were 1v1. Halin versus Gladius. The Gladius was mostly intact, and the Talon had seen better days. Neither wanting to run out of fuel, both seemed to want to risk it, committing to close combat. The Talon could not tank the extended repeated DPS. Black Fleet Witcher comes out on top with the kill and the overall victory. Congratulations to Black Fleet. The show ended up with thanks and reminders. ATMO has some of the prettiest merch on the market, all new for this year with a blackout theme. As an ATMO team member, my merch is also updated for 2022. Please stay tuned for a video about that. We appreciate all of your support here by watching the recap, and a special thanks to those who committed their Saturday to watch the event unfold live. Thank you very much for spending your time with me. This video works a lot better if you let others know, so please share it. We appreciate that. Fly safe, and I'll see you in the verse.